Good morning, everyone. My name is Veritas, and welcome back to Destiny. Now, today is Friday, Xur Day. That means that Xur, Agent of 9, the exotic merchant, has arrived inside the tower, and I believe he's over in this corner. Yes, he is. Look at that. Now, the vendor API information is still disabled on Bungie.net, which means I can't tell you how good or how bad the rolls are stat-wise on these items here, but I can recommend them based on what they are and how my experience since beta has been with items such as these. First things first, he has a Legacy Engram chest piece. This will max out at 170. Year 1 chest piece there. I wouldn't waste your coins on it. An easy way to tell if it's an old engram or a new engram is how much it costs. The old engrams cost 29, the new ones I believe cost something like 13. Moving in, the Titan helmet this week is the Taikonaut, or the Titan item this week rather, is the Taikonaut helmet. This thing is a little bit silly looking, but it's kind of interesting, and also I don't think they've actually fixed this yet. There's a little bit of a bug with it. So all rocket launchers gain tracking, visible radar while zoomed with heavy weapons, and heavy ammo drops more often. So it sounds like it's a fantastic helmet, you know, with the heavy weapon, heavy ammo dropping more often, and having a radar while ADSing a heavy weapon, kind of interesting, kind of neat. Also, you gain tracking. I think this still disables tracking on tracking launchers, so if you had something like the Truth or anything with a tracking perk, and you have this on, it actually disables the tracking. You know, it'll give tracking to non-tracking and take tracking from tracking. It's interesting. I don't know if they ever fixed that or not, but I wouldn't recommend this helmet. It's not very good overall, and it doesn't shade with shaders, so fashion-wise, it's a tragedy. Moving into the Young Ahamkara's Spine, this is the Hunter exotic for the week. Field Trip. Increase trip mine grenade duration and gain additional trip mine grenade charge. I like these gauntlets. They're pretty fun. The bones on the arms move when you're wearing them. It's pretty interesting. Jiggle bone physics. Fun stuff. Anyway, so these I would recommend if you don't have them and you play Gunslinger a lot. They're a pretty fun pair of gauntlets. If you are playing Gunslinger, I would probably recommend the Nighthawk, the Celestial Nighthawk, over these, as it gives you a huge bonus damage buff to your golden gun shot, whereas this is more like a Crucible exotic where you would have, you know, increased trip mine duration and additional trip mine grenades, especially after the Gunslinger nerf, where trip mines are kind of total garbage now. These are less recommended than really any other Gunslinger exotic, so pick them up if you don't have them or if you want them, but there are better ones for Gunslinger specifically. Moving into the Warlock exotic this week, we have the Ram. The Ram will give you additional armor and makes all Voidwalker melees trigger lifesteal. So you gain increased armor, and all Voidwalker melee attacks trigger lifesteal on hit. This helmet is actually pretty fun. I like using this in PvE. I use this a lot during Kingsfall just to have the additional armor, a little bit more buff, you know, a little bit more oomph when I'm doing shit, you know, especially like running Relic and doing that kind of stuff when you're being shot to hell. This actually might not be a terrible exotic for the Wrath of the Machine raid. If you don't have like the raid chest piece that reduces damage when you're holding Siva charges, this could actually save your life, just because the increased armor is actually quite noticeable. But yeah, you don't actually have to be running a Voidwalker to have the increased armor, so running as a Sunsinger with the increased armor and Flame Shield, it makes you feel like you're strong. You know, it actually is a noticeable buff there. So I would recommend this helmet. I honestly would. This is a very decent helmet. This also makes all melees trigger lifesteal. There's a small internal cooldown, very short internal cooldown, but that means you don't need to have a your melee doesn't have to be charged to actually trigger lifesteal. So if you're running around the Crucible and you hit someone with energy drain and your melee's on recharge and you smack someone else a couple seconds later, you'll still get that lifesteal on hit, which is very, very helpful. A little bit overpowered if you use it right, but it doesn't end up being that way because the regen time versus the cooldown and all that kind of stuff. It's a nice helmet. I recommend it. Great in PvE, great in PvP. If you don't have it, I would pick it up this week. I don't know how good the roll is, like I said, but it's a fun helmet, very useful, utilitarian, things like that. Moving into the weapon this week, we have Red Death. This is an exotic pulse rifle that uses an auto rifle body, and I endlessly recommend this just because of that fact. I won't go into exactly why that is, or like showing you, but I will explain it in a moment. So this gun has unflinching, also has high caliber rounds, and Red Death. Each kill heals you and speeds up the reload. So essentially what this does is gives you, I think the reload is somewhere between Feeding Frenzy and Outlaw. I wouldn't necessarily say it's Outlaw level, but it's definitely like a Feeding Frenzy. So every kill you get increases the reload speed and triggers health regeneration. Unflinching means you have better accuracy while under fire. I don't really know if that does anything per se, but, you know, it's there. And then high caliber rounds stagger enemies, so that's always fun there. It also makes the weapon harder to handle, which I actually like on some guns. I like the gun to feel denser because it makes it feel like it's like heavier in your hands. It's weird. Don't quote me on that, but if I was going to run this gun, I would run it with aggressive ballistics, unflinching, high caliber, and red death. Obviously, fun gun. Now you can see it's built like an auto rifle. The only thing I say why it's important that it's built like an auto rifle or on an auto rifle body is if you'll notice, if you go into your inventory and equip a pulse rifle, I probably don't even have one on this character. I do not. It has that effect. But if you have like a pulse rifle and you're sprinting around with it, the pulse rifle, the bodies on the pulse rifles come up really far in your screen when you're jumping and sprinting, and it's kind of obnoxious. But auto rifles don't do that. They don't come up as far in your field of vision. They don't cut into your view as much. So Red Death is a nice pulse rifle because it has an auto rifle body. It also looks very good. So I really hope that, I think that they are bringing out ornaments for this, as you can see this little squiggly line right here. But I hope they look better than the ones that are currently on the docket for the gun. Moving down to ornaments, as we've said, Shock Hazard, which is for the Xalo Supercell. This makes it look really neat. And then the Queen's Command is for the Telesto. This makes it look really neat. So both these pretty good for you there if you need them or want them. 25 silver dust there for you to purchase. Moving down to the Curios, we have the Plasma Drive and the quote-unquote Emerald Coil, because consistency is Bungie's #1 thing. So these can be used on rare quality Sparrows to upgrade them to legendary Sparrows with blue or green trails, respectively. The Sparrows you can buy from the Crucible Quartermaster, the Vanguard Quartermaster. Those Sparrows can be upgraded with these to make them legendary. If you're a Sparrow collector, that's how you do it. Things like that. Moving into heavy ammo synthesis, these can be used during combat to fully refill your heavy ammo, or they can be used to trade into factions for faction reputation. This is the best bang for your buck. Strange coins for heavy ammo. 30 coins will give you like 99 heavy ammo. It takes 100 with no faction booster from your item to level up. If you have a faction item, I think it takes like 85 or something. This is your best bang for your buck if you're trying to farm faction reputation, but they max out at 390. The drops from the packages do. So unless you're looking for something very specific like a waltz or something like that, I wouldn't really recommend doing this anymore, since most people are past 390 now. If you're not, go ahead and keep doing it. You know, it's good to hunt for like ghosts and stuff like that. Moving over to 3 of coins, my favorite thing to explain every single week. Ignore everything on the description of this item. What this thing does is, basically, if you do not have one active, you will have nothing here. If you go into your inventory and you happen to have one, you can burn it. Now you have exotic particles. Exotic particles essentially mean that you have a small % chance in the next ultra, or named enemy, most of them count as ultras, or the crucible match you complete will burn a chance for an exotic engram to drop. So if I go to play crucible right now and I complete the game and I don't get anything, this will be gone and I will be able to burn another one. If I go to another crucible game and nothing drops, this will be gone and I can burn another one. Imagine, if you will, that every single time you burn one of these, the chance of the exotic increases by, say, 5%. So right now I have a 5% chance. I go play a crucible match, don't get it, use another one. Now I have a 10% chance. Don't get it, go in, use another one. What it means is essentially it's a stackable effect. It doesn't mean use 17 of them at once. It means use one, let it burn. If it doesn't happen, use another one, and it will increase your chances every time you don't get one until you get one. Then it resets to 0. It's not exactly 5%, but it's a good way to think about it. You could also get really lucky and get one every time you use it, or you can get really unlucky and not get one in like 100, but that's just, and they're exotic. They're supposed to be rare, right, sir? They're supposed to be rare. Anyway, so moving into the last thing here, we have glass needles. I wouldn't recommend these to really anyone unless they have a ton of these materials. These can be used to reroll exotic armor. So say this ram has shit rolls on it. I don't know if it does or not. But let's say my Dune Marchers are terrible, which they're not. They're 99%. Thank you very much. If I wanted to like reroll these to have like a rocket launcher ammo here and maybe like a void double down, and I kind of wanted, you know, instead of intellect and discipline, I wanted like, I don't know, discipline and strength or something, I can come down here and twist the fate, and it would reroll the stats, and it would reroll the perks. Now, some exotic pieces can't get certain perks, and some will always have certain ones. Kind of like the, I believe the Ruin Wings always have discipline. I think the no backup plans always have strength, just because they are like a melee-based, you know, exotic. I think that Glasshouse always has intellect, just because it's a super-based exotic, things like that. So make sure you know what can and cannot roll on your items. And down here, the material exchange is a mistake. Don't ever click on that. It's bad. The exchange rate on that is bad. Don't do it. Don't be that guy that does that. Trials will also be out later today. Before this, this video will probably be up right around the time that Trials goes live. So, you know, enjoy your Trials Day Osiris. Have fun with that. Enjoy your DOSing and your lag switchers. Have fun with that. Had a little bit of experience with that last week. Man, that is... I wonder when Bungie's going to fix that. It's gotten a little out of hand lately, hasn't it? Anyway, that's going to be it for me, so I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed and very much appreciated, I will see you guys back in Destiny, specifically on Tuesday for the weekly reset. Maybe before then if I... Actually, no, I'll see you later today in Destiny. I have a very... quite long and you'll figure it out later. That video will probably be up a little bit after this one goes up, so yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until the next video, have a great day, everyone.